Hello.
What up?
We are so back.
What's up, ring rats? Hello. I'm kidding.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Came out.
After
don't know.
listening
A term of
to
endearment.
right, yes,
We're gonna
definitely
turn
a
into
term of
that.
endearment.
We're gonna turn it into that. I don't care what.
I would love to take back that phrase
We have to.
and make it something good because, yeah.
Whoa.
But we're back.
Rat is nothing never good. But I'm from Baltimore, and that means a whole different thing.
Well, if I say
that's
I
so
can't say the other
unfortunate.
thing I want to say, or else we probably won't get like streamed enough. So I'll say it like what it only takes about 5 minutes into a stream for me to say something offensive. So I'll say it at the end. How about that?
Yes.
I'll think about it as the show goes along, and then I'll let y'all know what it is in the comments, and you could be like, "Yes, no, Seindole, don't do that, Seindole," and then we'll
yeah. And it's been a while. It's been 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Keith. Hey Rakarsha. It's been 3 weeks. We haven't been on since before we all traveled to Philly for Mania.
I wish we was in LA.
I know.
I
You know
wish.
what it is? The sunshine really
wish.
got me for a second because I was just telling Letty how I was literally freezing my ass off.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we are back, our weekly wrestling fan club, and we were inspired by that electric crowd in France for Backlash. Like I have chills even just thinking about how loud, not even just for Backlash, SmackDown, they got a noise complaint.
Mm-hmm.
That's how loud this live crowd
definitely
was.
Like a national noise complaint.
Crazy. So we want to talk about our favorite live show moments, our favorite live show experiences. We've all been to our fair share of live shows, house shows, indie shows, and there is nothing like being in the crowd for one of those magical wrestling moments that where somebody asks you like, "Oh, I need to so much wrestling." Like you think about you're in those moments and you're like, "This is why. This is why this is the best thing." The best form of entertainment that you can really experience live, especially with people you love. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite live show moments. Krista B and I actually did an episode on the podcast where we talked about that. And that was probably back in maybe 2022, 2021, maybe 2022. So just thinking we've been to 3 WrestleMania since then. And we've done the big 4, so we've done a lot, we've seen a lot. These are really special moments. We want to hear from you guys, everyone, all our VIP and the fan club, what were some of your favorite live show moments. But before we get into all of that, I want to check in with you guys, of course, because it's been 3 weeks since we've done fan club. Shout out to Justin, the rest of our crew. He has been running, like literally. And so he's taken some time off, and shout outs to our bro. I'm so proud of him. He's accomplished a lot in the last, year or so, and we got to live it up with him in Philly. So shout out to him. I'm really glad to be back with my crew.
No, it's been so long. Oh my god.
Hey,
3 weeks feels like forever, especially when we were like all over each other for like 4 days straight.
Exactly.
It's like
probably more than that because Mania is literally like a 24-hour cycle. So you're like, it is a wild experience, but honestly, experiencing it with you guys just made it so much better.
It was
so much better.
It was so much fun. It was cold as hell. Let's not deny that. But it was a refreshing experience to know I was around people who could relate and not be by yourself. And people went, and I heard people went, and it was their first time. I heard somebody say, I think they had somebody in the audience. What did they say? This was like what, their 20th WrestleMania, and they were like the whole record holder, because I think most people who went to the first one aren't around no more. But
I mean, it's 40 of them.
Yeah,
you know?
40, So it was refreshing. It was great. You exposed a lot of new people to the sport. We made wrestling relevant again.
Yes,
to the
it
point
is absolutely
where somebody
relevant.
who literally is a rapper said, sweet chin music and don't pass me the ox.
Yo,
So
when I heard that,
is relevant. He said,
"Oh my
these
gosh."
jabroni ass. He said jabroni ass on the track. So we made wrestling relevant again, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every moment
First
of it.
timer. Keith, what do you mean by first timer? Like that was your first Mania or
that was first Mania?
Oh, okay. Wow. I want to talk about our first live shows also at some point on the show, because I think that'll be really cool. But
exposing myself.
Right? Like, back in my day. I love that, Keith. I love that you got to experience your first Mania.
Nice.
But it's so cool lately hearing wrestling references and rap songs, because two of my coworkers, one is definitely Gen Z, one is like right in the middle between Gen Z and like, so she'll get like half of my references and she gets half of my other coworkers' references because she's right in the middle. So they're all into the Kendrick Drake shit, and they're like, oh my god, what's like the hottest part? And I'm listening to it and I hear Sweet Chin music, and I love being able to be like, oh, that was a wrestling finisher, because they're like, oh wait, wrestling's involved in this? Like Sexy Red, Cardi B, like they all of some of the most relevant rappers have mentioned wrestling in some capacity. Not to mention the biggest pop star in the world is a Hall of Fame wrestler, Bad Bunny. He just co-chaired the Met Gala, and if you ask him what he would rather be doing, I'm sure he'll rather be in the ring, killing it.
Oh yeah, he nailed it. He nailed the outfit too. Shout out to Bad Bunny.
Yeah, he absolutely
came dressed to impress. The men did a good job. A little off topic. The men did a phenomenal job this year. I'm not gonna lie. There were a couple misses, but you get those. But on a scale, they won my approval.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think there's always hits and misses, but there was a lot of memorable ones. And I couldn't help but think about what wrestlers I would want to see at the Met Gala. And it would definitely be, off the top of my head, it got to be Steph and Becky.
Oh, yeah.
The Kentucky Derby look. Shout out to King Troy. That was... Charlotte. They know how, they know how to understand the assignment, and they're not afraid to go there and push boundaries. And that's what the Met Gala is all about. So I think they would probably be the first ones. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 5 years, Seth and Becky are not on the Met Gala red carpet.
They deserve. I think if they want
to, I can see it. Think about the heights that WWE is trying to go.
Right.
Like, it's like the subtle things, like the camera shots in the arena. Now they're more deliberate with showing like the team logos. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there was like this shot with Scrap Daddy where they like filmed like half of his body to show the mascot. I'm like, that shit is all fucking deliberate. Like, you want a class in marketing? Hey, Letty, study WWE. Like, they are wizards. But marketing is definitely a part of why we are sold on going to the live shows. Sorry guys, if you guys hear. Because the packages, the video packages, like I could not be invested in a feud for couple 2-3 weeks, get to the pay-per-view or the show, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then the package mixed with the match, and I'm just like, oh my god, okay, yeah. This is the best thing.
It's funny you bring that up, because I was thinking about like my first WrestleMania versus my second one. At 28, it was just, okay, we give you the match, boom, boom. You might have got a video package before like the main event, which was Rock Cena 1, but and maybe HBK and Taker and Triple H. But WrestleMania 33, I'm like, yo, they really giving us a match package before every match. And shout out to Corey, my Kicks and My Fix. I remember on the ride back, he was like, yo, but think about that casual fan who only watched the pay-per-views or at the time, or only watched on Royal Rumble to WrestleMania season. They're getting a whole cheat sheet to understand why this match is important. And it gets you hyped up. You think about
It
like you
does.
standing there getting excited, especially like in Philly, we was trying to warm up, and we know we get ready,
Literally.
and we get ready to see the ladder match for the tag team
Mhm.
titles. You know what I mean, or any other match. So it's you hit it right on the head. It's perfect marketing. I mean, at the end of the day, what don't the WWE do right when it comes to their communications?
That's true. That's
This is
definitely
true.
true. And the drones now that they have in the crowds and the different camera angles, like they are really doing a lot to make um wrestling really a must-see product where you don't want to turn the channel if you're a casual viewer. And 9 times out of 10, because you have superstars literally blending into every industry at this point, sports, fashion, red carpets, community stuff. Nat and Cody Rhodes just did a partnership with Chewy for their fucking pets and goofy ass dogs and shit. So like, you know what I mean? Like they're literally touching everyone. I love you, Cody, and your
You
dog
saying so
is
smooth.
super cute. I just think that's the funniest joke. And the word goofy is just so funny to me. Like I really can't. I can't hold it. But like they really WWE superstars are touching so many different areas. Where if you are flipping the channel, you are gonna not 5 times out of 10, you're gonna recognize someone, whether it's Bianca or from Hulu
Mm-hmm.
or the fucking Slim Jim commercials. Or like people know who the New Day is at this point. So it's a very exciting
Listen,
time. So
the
the Met
fact
Gala is not far off.
to again Met
Facts.
Gala, I'm manifesting it for them. But the fact that
Mm-hmm.
freaking Joe freaking Hendry is trending on the pop charts over Taylor Swift on iTunes, that shit is blowing
Oh,
my mind every day. I can't get that song away from me. I can't get Kendrick away from me. But the fact that I went to work and somebody already has it as a ringtone, I'm like, I'm gone. I'm dead. I said, what? I said, this is. I was like, I don't
What
believe in him. People
what did he
attacked me.
say?
That's how serious it
The
is.
The Rock said pro wrestling is cool again with that emphasis on pro wrestling. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. I could talk about WWE marketing and all of that shit like all day because I'm just so
It's all
impressed with
working.
everything that they're
Yes.
doing right now. Everything is bigger. They keep breaking more and more records, and it's nice to
Listen,
see.
for them to come out with them MLB belts, smart.
Very
Can't
smart.
wait for them to drop the hockey ones because I listen.
I want
Devil,
to go
if
to
they
a
do
hockey
it,
game so
listen
Oh,
bad.
I
between
ain't think about.
The Blackhawks, the Rangers, Devils, all diehard fans. They buy everything of their merch. If they tap into the
Mm.
hockey, the fact that first of all, if they don't take advantage of the fact that Jay Uso and CM Punk and Jackie motherfucking Redmond will
Yep.
See,
be in
that's already
the
they
Breakfast
already
Club
they
at
putting
a
fillers
hockey
out.
game.
They pulling fillers out. Like, watch, it's coming. It's coming. Like,
I'm
it's
telling
really
you.
coming. Like, you don't have former NFL players that become wrestlers. Now you're gonna have former NHL,
Yeah.
players, um, fucking turning into wrestlers and shit. Watch. It's a good
Telling
time to be
you.
a fan. It's a good
It,
time.
it, it, I was gonna say, certainly, it's a good time to be a fan. Good time to be on the fan club, especially,
Yeah.
especially since they say pro wrestling is cool again, and we all know the person with the PhD in rockology
Hmm.
is in the building. So
Kung Fu, not Kung Fu
Hey.
Kenny, but
right,
Kung the Queen of the Sounds Off. Only other Kung Fu I know.
Yes, because the K, yes.
Queen of the
so
Sounds
I
Off.
saw it, saw it.
in case you don't know who we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Krista V is in the
Hey,
building.
Hi
look at that
guys.
smile.
I missed y'all for
I really miss
real.
you guys
Wah,
too.
wah,
Oh
wah,
my
wah,
god.
wah.
Thank you for that beautiful intro, Brian. We have to add rockology to my resume now. I
Well, you already
appreciate that.
see that Justin has put it in the
Put in the
note,
Put it in the
notes.
notes.
so
Well, I
it's
mean, it
gonna
was two,
happen.
2 years ago
Hey
where
Rakarsha. Hey
two
Matt.
years ago, probably maybe last week, where David Shoemaker said and Kaz said you was a resident rock person. So I just kind of flipped it around and made it my own words.
I
I
appreciate
love
you. I
that.
I
appreciate
didn't
you.
want to plagiarize their paper.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. I'm glad you could join us for this particular episode because most of our live show experiences were together.
Yeah, we are. We're
And
really together, and it's fun. And I'm glad that you asked me to be a part because I saw the flyer, and I was just like, well, that's gonna be a dope episode. If I'm up because I've been tired lately, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna be in the comments. And I'm like, thank you.
yes, well,
I'm not missing this.
And we also, all four of us, including Justin, just came from our own the ultimate live show experience, which was Mania. We haven't done fan club since before Mania. So between going to that, rounding out the big four, and that French crowd was just like, oh my God, it was so moving. Like that might sound like dramatic, but watching it, you put a pay-per-view on, it's playing, and especially like a Saturday afternoon, but the crowd, like, you just could not, it was just like the crowd really, like, I can't even explain how that crowd was. Like, it really made me feel such like a spoiled, like, wrestling fan, because I'll dead be sitting down waiting for my person, but like these people, they don't get wrestling all the time. So when they do these big shows and WWE takes over their city for that week, it is like WrestleMania to them. Like every generation that's a fan can go to their first show in like fucking decades or some shit. I'm exaggerating, but like everybody's excited to be there.
Right, no, decades in some cases.
You know, because
you use the right
some
word.
of these pay-per-views, the first time they've ever had a fucking pay-per-view, SmackDown, they got a noise complaint. So I was like, those moments are so like, ah. So I wanted to talk about, and Crystal, we did our episode, which was super fun to look back on, but we've gone to so many shows since then. So shall we? What's up, Seindole?
I just want to say, fun fact. You know how I am about fun facts. So the time before that WWE was in France was in a house show in 2022. But before that, they only did a revenge tour, and that was in 1999.
Ooh,
wow.
So think about that.
Wow. So decades is the word of the night then, P, because you said that.
Is that when they used to do them tapes?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's like Attitude Era, where they were literally everywhere they could be. And
their first house show was 1989. So think about
wow.
that.
Sheesh.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
30
we New Yorkers,
we're spoiled.
Yeah, we're spoiled. As New Yorkers, we're 100% spoiled with wrestling shows, even on the like indie side. Like there's so many good indie wrestling in New York, major city, Jersey, of course.
Now they're doing you got Midwest wrestling.
Yeah.
Be nice,
yep.
P. You got Midwest wrestling. I don't like
Cali,
Midwest, Indiana, Kentucky, and stuff like that, Texas. So
Canada.
Wrestling is cool again. Wrestling is cool again.
It's exciting.
Y'all can jump on a bandwagon for a little bit, but when it's time for us to push y'all off, we will do.
I do feel so. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into, because I want to talk about our first live shows, and then we'll really get into some of our fond memories, and we want to hear from you guys in the VIP of the club. What's some of your favorite live show experiences that you've been able to be a part of that you will literally never forget? So let's take a break.
It starts off as a podcast, like mixer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where your favorite wrestlers are coming in and out on stage, right? Like Adam Cole and Britt Baker came out, and you had 3,500 people in Los Angeles do boom, and then Adam Cole, baby, you know, or you have 3,500 people putting up the ones when we had the Usos and Solo Sikoa come out, you know. And we're screaming, put them ones up, Oos, put them ones up, Oos. And like, they're looking at it like, oh, this lit.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's what works the most, because if you could pop the performers that do this with ease and they don't know what to expect. Yeah. What? I fed Solo Sikoa Doritos on stage. Like.
One of my favorite moments in life.
I love him.
Shout out to
Happy
him.
birthday,
Yesterday was
Amelia.
his
Shout out to him.
birthday.
This the nicest
Happy
person to meet
birthday.
at WrestleMania weekend. On plethora of people, the nicest person to meet.
He is
Like, it was
such
weird
a
too. We
sweetheart.
talk about that weekend and you ran into the same people consistently. Like, the last day, he was like, "I keep running into you." He was like, "But it's nice to see you again." Emilio asked me my name again. He was like, "I'm gonna nail it." Nicest person. So shout out to him.
He really is. Happy birthday. Another Taurus squad.
Gang.
Yeah, we love him.
Love some Taurus in
So
the
we do. So what do y'all remember, like, your first live crowd experience at a wrestling show? And like what about it made an impression on you? Because watching it on TV is one experience, but going to a live show is a completely different experience.
I'm probably the oldest. Excuse me. I'm probably the person who's the oldest because y'all seem like y'all went to a lot of shows when y'all was kids.
I was
You didn't?
I was a college student. Thank you.
My first live
show.
Me too. My first live show was for my. I think my first live show was for my cousin bought me tickets to a house show at MSG, and I think it was for my birthday, so I had to be like 22, 23-ish years old. First live show, and I remember just sitting there because, or maybe it was for Christmas, because I know I went on one of the holiday shows too. And I remember sitting there and I'm just like, all right, let's see what this is giving. Because, I'm starting to get back into it. I want to go just for the experience because I've never been. And the first person that pops up is Triple H. I'm just like, oh, okay. I know him. Childhood. And then from there, it was just so much fun. And then this is when the 205 Live was coming out, and this is when NXT first started. So you had people there like Neville. You had people there like on those brands, and people were just going crazy, like the pops for the NXT guys. And I'm just like, maybe I need to start getting into NXT because I don't know who these people are. And y'all know how I feel about Neville. Like, he drew me in automatically. Yeah. And then the second one, I had to bring my nephew because he wanted to go. He had to been about like 8. And now, years later, he's like, oh, when is the next WWE coming to? Because I want to go. I had fun. So my first experience, it was fun because I got to see it emulated what it gave on TV, just without all of the signs and all of the censored stuff that we see on TV. But it was a really, really fun experience for me to go as an adult too. Like, I feel like going as an adult is such a different experience than going as a child. As a child, you're there for you're always there for the fun and the excitement, but there's a different point of view from when you're an adult and watching it. Because now it's just like,
totally.
Oh, yeah, it's completely different. But it was fun for me. So yeah, I went in my 20s. Yeah. My first one was in my 20s.
I went as a child. My dad used to take us to house shows, but it was weird because it was fun. It was so much fun. I remember just screaming about everything. Like what you said, Krista, like you're just like, I'm there. Everything is great. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But then at the same time, me and Letty being like, thinking it would continue on from the what's on TV. So it would just be like, cause it would be the same feuds, but just like a little different, kind of like house shows now, where it's like people that have already been feuding with each other are now like in tag team matches. Like, that's not really about the storylines really, like it's about, the experience. So I was just like, okay, so sometimes that would be like off, but I think it's more the experience of like taking the express bus with my dad and getting snacks and like the experience like of it all. I think I remember. And then it's like Madison Square Garden. Like, can you really go there like too many times? Like that's just feels magical every time. And then as an adult, I went to a house show probably like 22. Oh God, I'm old. Like 2012, 2013, and then going to Mania, like in a quick succession, like going to my first house show in like 100 years, and then going to that. So I was just like, okay, it don't matter how long you've been away from it. Like you go to a live show, it is the same.
She meant to say same feeling.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I
can
can
relate.
agree with her. I think we all can
Yeah, I
agree
think
with
that's how
her.
I felt. I think that's how I felt going to WrestleMania, first WrestleMania in New York. And it'd be really selfish of me to say I only literally went to see Punk because that's my obsession. Then I remember two things. One, I was like by myself, which was interesting because it was just like I was just there chilling, and I was like, I'm here to see Punk and I'm here to see nothing else. But the rest of the show did fascinate me, like the spectacle of it all, like people cheering and being around people that were from different countries. And like they were, one guy I remember in front of us was like obsessed with singing the Fandango song, so every time they were
That was the
bored they would
height of
just
it.
bust out the Fandango music. And at some point I was like, fuck it, da, 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 da. Like I was like, fuck it. And then Punk came and had Living Color, and I was just like, this was worth to see. And then seeing the Undertaker, like you don't see ominous like that on TV, and you appreciate it a lot more in person. Like I just appreciate the production of everything put in. And then like John Cena won, and some people were happy and some people weren't. But that was with more of the people that had traveled far. Like I met somebody that was from Vienna, and they were like, this was their second WrestleMania. Like that was their second WrestleMania. But then the next night when I went to Raw, that was the time of my fucking life. And it was just like I lost my voice. We got lost on the train going home. Like it was just cool to be there with Dolph cashing in his money in the bank, like not a not. And you think
nice.
You think
That was a
France
good
was
one.
loud? You think France was loud? Like I look at France and I'm like, that was Jersey when Dolph had won. And mind you, it wasn't Jersey like, oh, everybody from New Jersey and New York was at Raw. People from everybody who had a front row seat or was able to snag a ticket to that Raw was in there, and everybody was just genuinely popped for him. Nobody was upset. You didn't like somebody had like cried next to me. I was like, yo, this is lit. Like you literally had, it's different off. So now when I go to like Raws and stuff, again, that was by myself. Fast forward, it's me and P going to AEW, and I just realized that Brian was there too, and I'm just realizing like how fun it is to do with your friends. And it was like we talking
Totally.
shit, we cheering for who we want to cheer for. Like it's just a different experience. So I think about that as like versus how you experience it versus where you experience it was more to like set it apart.
Yeah, excuse me. My first show. So what was amazing finally getting there, because my first show was supposed to be like Great American Bash 99. And God bless my sickly grandmother. She was gonna take me, and at the last minute, my mother's like, Ma, you really shouldn't. It's gonna be too much for you to take Brian. And then my grandmother, like, yeah, your mother was right. And I'm like, but she was willing to take me to the show, mind you. That's like WCW. It was, I think the main event was like Savage versus Kevin Nash for the title, or they was teaming up, and Savage would win the belt that night, which sucks because I never got to see Macho Man. And then the next time, if y'all remember when it was Vince versus Stephanie, I was supposed to go to that show. And we there, me and my dad, and the seats, there was no seats that were like together. And my dad was like, I don't really think we should go. It's too much. Let's just go to your uncle's house and watch it on pay-per-view. I'm like, so I was like right there in line. And I'm like, why didn't we get like first I didn't think he was gonna take me, but he kept saying like after church, yeah, we're gonna go. So finally, the next year, 2004, November 29th, my uncle takes me to a Monday Night Raw, and it's right after it was like the good guys beat the bad guys. This is when Randy Orton had just got kicked out of Evolution, and it was like him, Jericho, Maven, and somebody else. They all won at Survivor Series. So Randy Orton was in charge of running Raw that night, but he couldn't put himself in the title match. So it was him, Redacted. It was Triple H, Redacted, and Edge for the title in the main event. There was also like
wild.
right, and they both it ended up being a no contest because both of them pinned. They tried to pin Triple H, so the belt was vacated. I remember like being there because my uncle said the first thing that's going to be weird is not having a commentary, and we all the way up top, and I'm hearing they had pyro in the arena, so experiencing that, and I'm watching my uncle put his hands over his ears, so I'm like, okay, I guess this was supposed to do. But the one thing I do remember vividly was the pop that Stacy Keibler got, because her being from, she's from the Baltimore area. She's more so from Laurel, which is closer to DC, but she claimed Baltimore, so we claim her. But seeing like that crowd reaction was amazing. And I didn't even go to my first house show. Like I went to excuse me, I went to 2 Raws. Yeah, 2 Raws, Backlash, WrestleMania before I went to my first house show, which was in like 2012. And at the end of 2000, it was like the holiday tour. And this was actually during Punk's reign. And I remember how much fun it was seeing, that crowd and how, lively it was. But those were like my first WWE show.
I love it. Matt's first show was in Baltimore.
Nice. 88.
That, oh God, what was the main event on that show? I would love to know.
Someone tell me
Hogan
and Savage.
No.
Yeah, it's giving a Hogan type something because it was the 80s.
Yep. Hogan type.
But 88 would have been Savage's reign, if I'm not mistaken. 87.
Is that Savage Steamboat reign time, or
no? Steamboat would have been gone, just like this ball that just went out of the park. But no, Steamboat would have been, or he would have been lower on the card because Savage Steamboat was 87, and then after that was over, he wanted to be a father. Yeah,
Macho Man was champion. Vaughn says.
Yeah. Okay. I'm wondering, what do y'all think, real quick? I'm gonna jump the shark, but your first independent wrestling show versus after you, if I'm not mistaken, did y'all go to the WWE show first like I did and then hit an indie show? And what was your first reaction comparing?
My first show was with you guys, was Jobber Slam.
That was your first indie show?
That was my first indie show.
Oh wow.
Jobber Slam is a good one.
Can you wait, let me real quick. Clarification on indies. Are we talking a non-televised independent wrestling promotion, or do televised ones count?
Let's say
change the scope.
Let's say non-televised, because it's a difference. Because
Ring of Honor at the time was televised, so if we're gonna say non-televised, then
I wouldn't call that an indie.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Because Ring of Honor shows are great.
My first indie show, I went to WWE first. I went to the house show first, and then thanks to good old grad school, and then listening to my vision about making this wrestling video that I did, I ended up going to Johnny Rise the school, where I was one of the subjects was the wrestler, and they had a show that Saturday. So I guess that was my first indie show. I should say, and that's where I met Jay Bougie and everybody else there. And I like the feel because the crowd is going to be the same regardless. Like if you're a wrestling fan, you're a wrestling fan. But I also like the fact how you can feel you can get even closer, like be more involved. Like you want to grab the person by the hair, like the heel by the hair, or do something to them. Because but I love how they also keep the although we can get close, we still keep that boundary, because we all know wrestling fans can get out of pocket and not keep that boundary. But the experience of going to an indie show, house show, whatever, it's fun. Like it's so much more fun. It's so much more interactive. It's very intimate, more so intimate than going to an arena show. So everybody can see you and everybody can hear you, and everybody, you can look that person in the eye just so they can look you in the eye.
You could be very easily a part of the show,
right?
Like as in the crowd. And I love how local they feel. Like you see, like the grandma and the whole family come out, and this
whole
is
family rolling deep.
Yes, rolling deep, and then you see that they have investment, emotional investment in the wrestlers, like even on an indie level, and it's so like genuine, because it's not like, you know, at the end of the day, WWE is very much like the Disney, like it's polished. Kids are supposed to like it, kind of, you know, in a way, but like indie shows, it's way more like real, like you could feel it, you could touch it. It's like that connection, you know, you see it there. Like I've seen kids cry at shows and then be like, don't worry, like last time he got you, but you're gonna get him next time, like to the heels. And I'm like, these little kids have these rapports with these wrestlers, like it's really cute. Like I love live shows, and because of that it's like, and then because we know promoters, like you just know how much love goes into the shows. So that, and then seeing the crowd be receptive to it and be like just as electric as any crowd anywhere, that's what's really cool about indie shows.
Yeah, I remember. It's funny. Matt bring up MCW 2002. My first one was 05, and it's crazy to think how seeing the Canadian Destroyer in person was like, wow. It was like Petey Williams, and remember getting a chance to meet him. And what was so cool was it was TNA, and then we're talking 2005 TNA, where they're sprinkling in a couple WWE people, but they didn't go. To me, TNA went to that level. Was like, oh shoot, they here when Kurt Angle arrived. You know, because even when Christian was there, it was like, okay. But when Kurt Angle arrived, it was like, oh wait, they're a big time player. So being there and seeing, like, they hadn't gotten to that point yet, but being at an MCW, then the following show that I went to, Chris Jericho was there, and he was in between signing with TNA or WWE, and this when he came back with a when he had the suit on, but getting a chance to meet him, and like you said, that intimate feel, and the local, you know, see it, but also seeing the little kids who you could tell their parents, that's their weekly or monthly thing. Yeah. They go to the independent shows because they get to know these wrestlers, and we've seen this with Jay Bougie bringing, you know, how the fans just gravitate towards him, whether, you know, if he's running the character as a heel, they understand that, but them little kids, there's something about him that connects with them, you know, and that's the cool part. But it's also cool seeing, you know, the grassroots of it all, the, you know, them walking through curtains as opposed to on a Titantron, or them having just the generic video that might play their name.
It's more of a home feel in the independent place than it is, and we're never knocking any big production down. They try and make it a spectacle, but when like me and P know literally the connection between, at the time, me seeing FTR and then Bret Hart work out 10 times better.
That was wild.
Watching him walk through MSG for that special format, it's 10 times different.
I'm so glad y'all did video of that too.
It just feels better. That was they and you can tell they enjoy doing it, because you can tell they have fun. They really in their mic work. It's in how they connect with the fans. It's just it's hit different. You know,
it brings you back to why wrestling is even a form of entertainment to begin with, because I just watched Dark Side, like Black Saturday, and that, where they filmed, only fit 100 people, but yet it was like the most watched wrestling show, you know. So it's really, it's not about, you know, as much as we just praise WWE's, you know, the extravaganza of it all, you know, indie shows show you like why you can just have a room full of 100 or less people, and and people go out there and put on this show and entertain, and everyone is gonna get the same thing out of it. So,
real quick, I just thinking about, like, for example, if it wasn't Jobber Slam, because to me, we're talking about the home field, I felt like Jobber Slam, you guys always talked about like there's a community, and I didn't really get to see community, because of course we fucks with Jobber Tier, shout outs to them, we fucks with them as family, but then when you see how everything else is interconnected, then I started hearing about stuff in North Carolina, then I got put on to Black Wrestling, I enjoyed their show, then you started telling me about Brian, and I watched the Wrestling Realm, and I'm like, oh, I really like this show, like they bring up a lot of good boys, so it was all connection. And I think about like how GCW, for example, was able to pull a sellout crowd on a WrestleMania weekend because they had 2 WWE stars there, but they knew that people stayed for the entire show. Like that type of connection. Not a lot of people. It doesn't have to be a big production for a lot of people. Some people just want to see, you know, people do flips and shit. Like let's keep it real. That's why I mean that's what I like. I'd be like, do a flip. Like I like to see stuff like that. There's some people that are like, oh my god, I'm so in awe with production, but also some people are like, no. The obsession, for example, with like Jay Bougie, for him to pull the energy that he does from certain people that fucks with him is natural, and he responds to it naturally. So that's the type of stuff that you get at an indie show that if you know, compared to WWE, your chances of getting it are a little slimmer, but an indie show, when you really follow the talent, it's a lot deeper, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. What's some memorable live show moments that you guys experienced that you look back? I mean, we have to mention the Bodega Street fight because we were all there. It was it was kind of the next big thing we all, as a wrestling fan community, look forward to after Dallas. Because it was just like right after that, things like picked up. Krista was like, oh, Jay Bougie and Rev was on live, and then Brian got on, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we all traveled to get there, including Justin. He came through. And for me, that's a moment I will never forget because just the build up. Like I've never been a part of like a wrestling show build up before, and like seeing it play out on social media, seeing it get more and more notoriety in real time with two extremely talented performers that know what they're doing. Like you have fucking Rev and Jay Bougie, like they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly the story they needed to tell, and they delivered in that street fight.
Yeah, that and the thing
the social media clips were just like rolling even afterwards. That was crazy.
Yes,
and we're coming up on 2 years. 2 years from it.
Whoa!
And just to think, like you talk about, just the buildup of it, from them buying Crocs to buying ring lights, and it's like that's what makes wrestling cool, right? Something as simple and stupid as Crocs, or something as cool as a ring light, all the backstory of a match, and it showed their abilities as storytellers, but it also showed like our way of getting invested and getting behind something, you know. So then to the point where people looking to our Twitter feeds and stuff to see, okay, what is it going to be like if we can't get there? What, you know, it's like we was almost like we was responsible for reporting what happened. You know, I mean, that's what we do, but even then, you know, but I mean, that was an experience, you know, even Java Slam, Stephanie Hardy, those great sweatpants battle royal, the soundtrack.
She was like having so much fun. Yeah, and you can tell. She's like, oh my god,
oh my god. First of all,
she's like, this is a lot.
Me and Nick talk about to this day, and he showed up in that battle royal. I looked at him. I had to pull to the front.
I did not know he had all of that under there,
sir.
And the referee
shirt. You get married in a few months. What you doing? You get married in a week, sir. You get married in a few weeks. What you doing?
That was that was
he
such
said,
a good
he was like,
moment.
that was my bachelorette moment, because he's like, that's my bachelor moment. I had to show the lady who was coming off the market. I said, I'm done with you. I agree with you. I said, I'm done.
Oh man, yeah, that was a good moment.
Everything about it, just like Jobber Sam, and then you think about the lineups, the work that the indies put into, like, listen, these are the people that we can draw with, and then there's also people that you come to see. It's special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. And then absolutely. I'm so excited about this Jobber Slam, because I might have a little part in it. Check your social media. But the fact that they little part, just a little.
Hey, it's important.
It's important.
You
but
talk about little.
The fact that who they got this year's Jobber Slam.
Yo,
so excited. So excited. So excited.
Huge.
Yes. But
you know,
I mean, go ahead, Brian.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
saying it's just that, but you think about the loyalties too. There are people that show up to a Jobber Slam or to a Battle Club Pro or to a JCW or to HOG, or like people are starting to literally show up to Ashes and the Mission Pro Wrestlings and all that other world. Think of the people that go consistently because there's something in it that they love to see that keeps them coming back, and that's what makes it, like, to me, it's important. And the same thing with WWE, whether you watch that, AEW, Ring of Honor was filled to the brim. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's true. And Jobber Slam as well, like, if you don't get there at a good amount of time, like, you're not going to have a seat. It's going to be standing room only, and it's going to be packed. And this year is going to be, like, no different. But going to see
your highs and hellos in before, you get overlooked and whatnot.
And just literally make sure you pay that front row, because Tyler got to get paid, honey. Pay that front row seat to get a show.
Yeah.
Front row's fun.
Period.
Front row is fun. I love a good front row.
Especially
I really
Darius
do,
Carter on the card.
In the mix. Who? Oh yeah,
Darius Carter.
Seeing him interact with the crowd has to be like the most exciting time.
Yeah.
Shout out to a clip I saw him take an old man's hat off front row at the last Battle Club Pro show. They just had an intergender show, and he took the hat off.
He is yes for the number one black wrestler on the BRP 50 this year.
I can't wait for that.
Darius Carter is my pick.
I can't wait.
He's delivered. He's had a great year.
I think he was like number 10 or number 15 last year. So yeah, I'm expecting a big increase, But yeah, like you talk about like live experiences. Man, being in the building when The Rock beat John Cena in Miami, I kid you not, it felt like the place shook.
It did.
That was the stadium.
It did.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, because you go in there, you did not know who was going to win. And those are the matches I love, because you can think, okay, of course The Rock's going to win this in Miami. But the story they told was like, well, Rock is going back to Hollywood. Maybe, Hogan put over The Rock, Andre put over Hogan, Rock put over Cena. Not knowing, we're going to get a couple years out of this. But then also, I think what I really appreciated was this year on Raw, Brooklyn, being able to be in there with KRISTA B, Sir Wilkins, 2 resident and Ben Rock fans, 3 Rock fans, and to see their reactions. Like you could have just like pinched them and they would have felt numb because they were just so excited. And I'll never see my favorite wrestlers 1A wrestle because they can't. But being able, I got to see number 2, The Rock, and being able to be there and watch them be, because I think any Rock would have been cool.
Yeah.
But man, I think the final boss is my favorite.
Oh,
because it's just,
everything around it, the storyline. Yeah,
yes. And when you become older, you kind of understand.
Right.
And homie was saying, boy, a little too loosely, but it was fun.
Listen, that was the black side of him. Listen, going to get a boy. Hey, his black side was definitely going to come out. Hey. But
Miami Rock, literally, and I'm not kidding, the belt looked good on The Rock when I saw him at that WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Cena took it from him. It made me a little sad because I was like, you know what? The Rock didn't look so bad with the new belt. Like, he had just changed it. Think about it. He won it at that, because that year he won it at
Royal Rumble.
At the Royal Rumble. And he was like, listen, I'm getting rid of this spinner bullshit that y'all been dealing with for the last. I'm sorry you had to deal with this. He was like, I'm sorry you had to deal with this. The belt should recognize the real champion, and he unveiled it. And then you see it up close, and you see it on the screen. And I'm like, he looks like generational. Like, think about the fact that he's had 3 different type of belts and his own, like, generational type shit. When you think about it, even though he held the spinner belt for like a minute, technically it's 3, in my opinion.
4.
He won the spinner belt. Yeah, 4. Yeah, you're right. So, but like looking at him, I'm just like, it looks really good on him.
It just gave money.
It just gave.
It did.
It gave expensive. That's
Yeah.
what
And he was wearing a Versace, so
Versace. I'm sorry. And then
I wonder if the
you
stock of
see
Versace went up since he came back.
me looking back at Krista 20 times after I see him walk out. I'm like, I'm just making sure you're okay.
that's the best thing. Like,
It's
just
funny.
finally seeing that moment, those moments. Like, you can't. I know that feeling, and I want every wrestling fan to experience their favorite live.
Yeah.
It is something. It just like it does something to you. Like, you know, you got to see CM Punk. Krista finally got to see The Rock. Like those
You saw
moments
Stone Cold.
are everything. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like I think about Dallas because I love losing my voice at shows, but I never lose my voice completely. It's always like a little hoarse. But Dallas, I had no voice whatsoever.
But
like,
that wasn't the first time you saw him.
Ryan's like,
no, but it was WrestleMania, and then it was back to back, and then that surprise.
Yeah.
Like I just was like, ah.
My kneecaps are still in the
I can't
stadium.
believe this is
Nothing
happening
is
right
like
now.
that night one was cool but we knew it,
'Cause
right?
we knew
Even
it.
though
We knew.
the way they build it up
Exactly.
with Kevin Owens, so you didn't know when it was coming,
And you didn't know if it was going to be an actual match either.
Yeah.
People, I don't know if you remember that, but they said appearance with Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Like, it was never a match. So that was great. But what? Like, what? Like the glass shatter out of fucking nowhere with Vince in the ring? Like
impromptu.
Yeah, it was that because you had
it's impromptu.
So y'all know me. You had Pat McAfee, you had
I still
Austin
can't believe I
Theory,
experienced that.
and then you had Mr. Redacted, and then for some reason it would have been remiss to not have Stone Cold come out on the second day. If we literally think about it, like, yeah, we loved it, but it would be remiss for not one, you in his backyard, like you in Texas, you in his hometown. Two, you already know he's there. You already know he's there. So and three, we learned he got to be in somebody's corner,
right? And they feed the crowd for both nights. Like they definitely let you know, like you want to get both nights. And but real quick, you know, fan club, we watch Dynamite as a family. So turn on Dynamite.
I'm not missing nothing. Then continue.
Okay. Yes, but we do watch it as a family. Thank you, Dylan, for reminding us. See, VIP back in the building. And you guys, everybody know about the Mercedes moment. So Mercedes is on screen. We will take a kind pause and just listen to whatever the fuck she got to say because we know she ain't wrestling. So.
I feel I'm tired of her talking.
Who is ready for All or Nothing? Real quick. I don't know if I'm ready for for Double or Nothing because it's her versus Willow.
I want to say I'm ready. That's probably the only thing I'm looking forward to.
Just that match alone,
yeah. I'm not ready for her to win the belt.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't want little Willow to have a short reign.
I love my girl Willow. I'm sorry. I just
maybe they may surprise us. Who knows? Maybe they will really make Mercedes fight for that belt.
But I'm glad you were to use the word surprise to go back to what P was saying and y'all was talking about with Austin.
Surprise.
The best part about it was because you were so caught up in the story of what was happening in the ring. And that's what I love about being at WrestleMania, that you just take off your blinders, not try to pre-book, and like, oh yeah, here comes this one. Here comes that. Just sit there and take it all in. And we, I'm sitting there watching Vince McMahon and Pat McAfee and all this stuff happening, and I'm like, first of all, I can't believe my eyes because old man is really in the ring, and I'm like, wow, this that everything. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh,
that shit fucking blew my fucking mind. Like, when something happens and you like. It's like it goes black, like that's the last thing you remember.
Yeah.
I feel like when I heard that glass shatter, that is the last thing I remember. Like I was just like, oh my God, give me this. So like back to back, I had no voice. I literally
and you can't replicate that. Like I can understand what Seth Rollins say when he said he don't remember his cash-in moment. It's literally he said it was like, okay, at Gorilla, go. And then everything he's just feeding off adrenaline. So he said he only knows it by watching the video, and I'm like, wow, that's a moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those moments you really can't replicate at all. Like even the amount of times where we thought Rock was coming and he didn't, and me be able to see him 5 days throughout that weekend. It's like
I love that for you.
Me too, girl, because we know we ain't seeing him ever again in a long time. I got to relish the moments. But
listen,
even in still knowing that he was coming, he was going to do some final boss shit. It was the way the way in which he appeared every time. Like you knew he was the final boss, but it was like more cocky, more machismo, more like it was just something about him every time. Like no appearance was the same.
That's
and
true.
Even in those feelings, you can't replicate that.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you go to these live events, it's like you have to. It's like you have to record it to keep it, because if you don't record it, then it never happened.
It's like
to go back to.
You want to bottle it up and just like experience it at some point. What was some of y'all like? Stone Cold coming out that second night was a surprise. But what was some of y'all like? What the wait? What? Yes, don't talk about it. Talk about it. Ooh, that shirt fire.
That shirt is lit. Can we see his shirt? Can we see the shirt?
Hold on,
that is cute. Is that Roots of Fight?
Yes.
I
think I might need one. I think I might need one.
I find myself wanting CM Punk merch. Like I am officially a fan. Like
me too.
Well, guys, I have to say this. I've realized I am the most fickle wrestling fan of life, because if you fucking listen to fan clubs a year ago, the way I talk about CM Punk, like, oh my god,
the way I
so
had to
over.
fight
We don't
for my
need
life
him
on this
da,
show.
Da, 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 da. And now when I see him, I'm like, oh my god, it's CM Punk.
But he's giving you a chance. He's giving you a chance to like him and to understand why way back when was the reason why everybody was so enamored with him. Because that promo that he did on Monday, I was in the room like getting myself together, and I heard it. He's like, just like make sure they play my music. And it wasn't pipe bomb-ish. It was just like him speaking his truth. And it was just like, yo, I like this man. When
she like, see, I gotcha.
He's a happy punk. Like I keep saying.
Happy punk.
Yeah.
Watch that. That's gonna be on the shirt next.
Cry. Don't do that. You're gonna make a thug cry. But yo, first of all, don't play with me, because I really will take what's left of whatever refund that I got and we'll buy shirts. So don't play with me. We will be Three Musketeers up in this bitch.
Listen, just drop the link to the shirt. I will. I really want one.
I got you, but no, because remember, after the bond that was Scarf and Bonnet was properly formed, and I made sure I got me a seat. My whole day, everybody was like, "Yo, he signed. He's coming back. No, he's not coming back. He definitely is gonna probably show up at TNA. Blah 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 blah." And I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, even towards the end of the night, the pay-per-view was already a great pay-per-view. So my head, I was already okay with him not coming back yet. It is what it is. If he's happy at home with Larry and AJ, and we had already seen. Remember, I've already seen him at a Collision taping, because I got tickets to Collision. So I already seen him. Like, all right, I have my Punk fill for the year. I'm okay. I'm good. But to tell you, people that were like behind me cheering CM Punk, me reacting the way that I did, people talking to me about reacting the way they did, I was just like, listen, Randy need to hurry up and come out. And the mother behind me laughing like, me too. I said, we need each other. Like, we just need, if he come out, I'm okay. So the pay-per-view's ending, it's winding down. People are like packing their shit, but it's not that many people packing their shit to leave. Because one thing I understand is, one thing about Chicago, they gonna believe in their people. They gonna rise up.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
So
that is a fact.
Everybody was packing to leave, but wasn't really packing to leave, because they didn't even die down the music the way they were supposed to. And all of a sudden, we're minding our own business. All you hear is, yo, I couldn't even pick up the phone early enough. He slowly emerges.
Oh my god!
Out white tee, tattoos out, ring finger on, sneakers on, jeans clean, looking clean as hell, by the way.
He did. He looked very good. How did he already look so much better than he ever did in AEW?
I was
just like, oh, he got a gloss to him.
That baby was stressed, and we found out why he was stressed, because they did nothing for him in AEW.
He was working with children.
He was working with children.
Toddlers.
They made him take the train to Wembley. Listen, AEW would have had him in his own bus. Larry would have been in the back seat. Anyway,
not Larry. Is Larry the dog?
That's the dog.
That's their child. He loves Larry.
Not Larry. Okay.
When I tell you, everybody's losing their shit. Nobody left. Everybody was just. I was like, yo, the fact that he's literally here, and I'm here.
You had a great view too,
and it's so crazy.
Him, and he's turning to me, and my camera's on, and I can see his face. I'm just like, why didn't I was like, why didn't I feel this way in Collision? But then I think about where I was in Collision versus where I was seeing him there. Collision in New Jersey, Phil in Chicago. Two totally different reactions. Totally different experience. I want to thank Booker of the Year Triple H for setting that up together, because in Mindstone, even if it hadn't happened, then it wouldn't have hit different. I'm sorry, it would have never hit different. It's like the Rock debuting out in, what was he, in Denver?
Yeah,
some random ass place, like what
world state that nobody gives a F about. But you could have. Did you? All right, don't give me that. Go ahead, go.
I know, but it's just like it worked there, and I was yo, I'm here. Like, I'm really, like, I'm here. I'm here in an old ass shirt. I'm really here.
Me and P looked at each other and was like, Seindole. Like, that's all
I was just like, oh my god,
she's here for this. It was the same with
because we went to the press conference, right? So we're sitting in there, and everybody's already still watching it on their phones. So Brian took the seat near the TV, so he happened to turn and look down, and he goes, "Oh snap! CM Punk is here!" So the whole crowd went crazy, and people was like, "Oh my god, Seindole's out there right now! Oh,
she is living right now."
You know what? Another moment I was gonna bring up was we were talking about just everybody. God dang it! Everybody in this family that had their moments except me. Shit, because everybody ruined it at the Royal Rumble. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But I was
Hogan.
No,
yeah, he was there, but they wasn't gonna bring him out. You know,
wasn't gonna bring him out.
Old man would have said.
But I didn't realize that. That's
look, Justin got to see Sasha win the tag titles at Mania.
Yeah.
Krista got to see The Rock. P got to see Stone Cold. Pablo and Seindole got to see Punk. WrestleMania. I'm waiting for my moment, man. I didn't see.
We also got to see Mercedes come back in her hometown.
Right. You're rubbing it in. Stop.
You're rubbing it in, P. You're not helping the situation.
I mean, live show moments that are memorable.
I mean, but he's having a moment. Like, he's having his moment, and you just like rub you putting
look.
wound.
I need my number one until I can officially write it on paper that Roman has taken the top spot, because it probably will happen over Hogan Brett or Brett Hogan. I need my Hogan.
Why didn't it happen for you yet?
They're gonna look like they
neither
need
one
help.
of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because with Brett, then you never know.
She sure did. She was like,
by the way.
And then we're gonna go to the extended part of this family branch. We was there for Noah. When Omar,
and he got to see all surprise Homo sapien.
Because we was getting ready to go. The three of us was getting ready to hit the concessions, and I said, hold on, let's look at these entrances real quick. And LA Knight came out to his jam, and then but before that, I think it was before after. All of a sudden, Omar's music came. It was like, yo, Noah's here, because he had just told us earlier how much he was almost.
And who would have thought that that's your guy right now?
That's what Royal Rumble does. That's what Royal Rumble does.
Yeah.
But how about this, Brian? How about this? Being that we know that he won't probably ever come out in WWE. How about this? We go road trip it or whatever, to his restaurant since he's always there, and you have your moment. And I am willing.
Hogan's Beach.
But wait, I am willing, just because you are my brother, I am willing to put aside all of the venom that I have just for you to have your moment.
You know, that's nice, but the thought of purposely going to Tampa Bay isn't attractive. Now, if we
Tampa Bay seem wild.
If we're in Orlando, and then we decide to
nice.
go over, I mean, but still an hour away, but just going like, man, them Ubers.
Listen, I'm trying to work with you here because I feel like
you know what they say?
Moment.
When they say the thought, it's the thought that counts. This is you get an A for effort.
Thank you, because that was hard for me. That was hard for me.
I know.
Because we was going to give this man some money from our invest in his shit. And
am I willing to deal with the $5? Am I willing to deal with the $5?
Yeah, Black Wrestling. Black Wrestling
was up. Shout out to Matt putting it right here at first, and I had to put it back here because he's stupid.
he was like, Brian H. Waters, I got something for you.
Right
so gave
oh shit! Look, it's on her. It's got. Oh, there you go. There you go.
I gave one to my coworker, and my coworker was like, "I'm not gonna lie, is that
Can we get one for Ric Flair too?"
Oh,
I mean, after that video I saw yesterday.
Yeah, he's still on my shit.
A bit
from
he just got kicked out of a restaurant. He just got kicked. But I feel like with him, it's old age. Like he's an old miserable man now.
Nah, but I'll tell you what was another fun moment though. Back in the SummerSlam when Jimmy came out, because you could just hear the way the crowd went crazy, and then seeing P go crazy.
No, I was so disappointed in him.
I had to clutch down behind somebody else's chair, and I was like,
"Yeah."
Why did this happen? I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, and then on top of that, we were right freaking there.
Yes, we were so close to being right where that fucking happened. Yes. Oh God. Great moment.
What was so funny about SummerSlam was I remember my sister texted me because she had got invested in the storyline. So and my brother-in-law, he don't understand. He's like, wait, what? And she's like, no. So she be trying to explain to him, and he don't know. He never really watched wrestling. He been to shows because they would get free tickets. So I'm breaking all this stuff down, and she texted me like, who won? I'm like, Roman. Do you want to know how? No. So being able to like hold that in and see it, but then so it's like in my phone, there's her reaction of watching on TV, but then there's P's reaction of after the immediate after effect. And that's one of the moments like you cannot duplicate. Like when you're there with a twin, when one twin disrespects their twin.
Like I could never. Like, and I already don't even get me started because I already like Jimmy was already on my bad side from Jump Street because you was letting Jay get beat by another grown ass man on TV and you wasn't doing nothing for a while, and then you come back talking about you're gonna be nobody's bitch, and then you literally became Roman's biggest bitch, and then
big
like bitch. Seriously, like bruh, and then turned on Jay, and then he was the first one that co-signed Sammy. So like he really did the most. So to see him then turn on Jay was just like, oh my God, bro, that was a fun moment.
Where was SummerSlam at last year?
Detroit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't go. Okay, yeah, I didn't go. Okay, because I had to think about it. Okay.
That was a wild show. I got to see Bray in I want to say San Antonio against LA Knight.
LA Knight, yep.
That was really, really, really cool. I think that might have been one of my first times seeing Bray Wyatt live, like in that like in the Fiend when my fandom was really like up there. Crazy. I think
I'm trying to think back to a time. P, was there ever a time where we were at a show and Bray Wyatt was there? Because I can't, for the life of me, think of one.
I missed this title run.
I think
the later. So this is. Because I was at SmackDown in Philly the night he changed the belt from red to blue. And then the dark match.
What year was that?
2019, November 2019. And just context, this is when
ahead.
Roman and Baron Corbin was beefing.
Okay.
And I remember my friend Vanessa was wondering why was this dog situation with Roman and
That
Baron
shit pissed
Corbin.
me off.
Yeah, and we was about to
out.
leave. And I said, when I saw the match, I was like, wait, Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend. Oh, I gotta see this. And then, that's when they changed the lights every time he would wrestle. So that was the time when I actually saw him as The Fiend. I think that was the first time, because the other times I might say he was, I was there with WrestleMania 33 when he was just Bray and he had the little maggots in the ring. That was very creepy.
Yeah, I don't I think that was like when I was really that invested in Bray. Because now that you're talking about his title reign, I'm like, was I? Because once me and Krista started in like late 2018 and started going to show, even probably mid 2018, like we just kind of was really blessed to just be, on. So I got to see like mostly everyone. But I think one of my favorite matches I got to see live was, and I can't believe this is a real match now that I'm saying it, was Charlotte and Becky versus Bayley and Sasha.
Yo,
like that, like the fact that I'm saying that, like, and that actually happened, and like I was there, like I'm just like, what?
Yo, that match, because I think that was the same night that Austin came out, because we was in MSG, and that match, because the week before it was just like, who's gonna come out and help Becky, and I kept pitching, we need a 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match, and then that night comes, and it's the fact that this EVP from the side profile is wearing this hat like Bray Wyatt would when he first came out.
That's the only reason why I'm turning on.
That's crazy that we talking about Bray and then this shit happened.
Yeah, like you see it, right? And it's not just me. Okay, I'm not bugging.
Yeah. It's not just you.
And then that match comes, and I was just looking at that video too, P. Like I still have that video on my phone.
Oh wow.
That match comes, and it's just like they were at war. Like they didn't even make it in the ring. They just made it in
their prime too.
Yes,
like,
and I was just
it was
like,
the man. You had Charlotte, then you had newly turned heel Becky. Then you had Bayley. Then you had Sasha coming back. Like it was just like a perfect recipe. Like, love that moment.
I think another moment for me is when I believe I brought Cha-Cha with me to, I think, his first Raw or SmackDown. And they was talking about something, and they kept mentioning Undertaker. And I was like, "Don't worry, Cha." I said, "I don't think Undertaker's coming out, so I don't want to get your hopes up." As soon as I said that, them lights went out.
Stop it!
I promise you, them lights went out. Undertaker popped up, and Cha-Cha saw Undertaker for the first time.
Oh, I love it.
That's his favorite all time?
No, his favorite. I don't even know who his favorite all time. I think it's Rock. But just to see, because it's just like this was when Undertaker wasn't in his best. So it was just like this. I think it was that night where he put down Braun Strowman for Roman. And then when he looked, he kind of like did the fuck, I gotta face Roman type situation. And that it was that moment.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. You talk about like losing voices. Hardy Boys 2017.
I'm so jealous that you were there.
No,
that's just like when the fact that day, literally, the app said Jeff Hardy tells CBS Sports the Hardy Boys signed a long-term deal with Ring of Honor, and it's like, oh man. So now no hopes.
They lied.
Right, and then the New Day come out there. And then all of a sudden the music hit, the whole place, and I'm way up in the 500 section. Whole place go crazy. And it's like, yo,
that's a moment. Even just watching it, like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, because I just remember just like, oh my god. And that's what it was like back then when I was like, oh my god.
Wait, what did he say? Off is the direction that you can. In my head, I'm like, the day that I ever decide to quit my job, that's I'm literally gonna get on the phone like, attention, off is the direction that you can, and then walk out like a G and drop the mic and just walk out.
I need that on the shirt. Justin, if you still watching, put that in the notes. Thanks. Another moment, because I remember that moment. I remember I told us earlier time I was home, I was screaming, my aunt ran out the room, like, what happened? But my friend Shaquana was there, and this is when they surprised her daughter, her and her boyfriend surprised her daughter to a trip to go to WrestleMania. They did a road trip to Florida, surprised her, and then I was like, oh my God, what? Like, texted really fast. She was like, this man almost killed my baby for jumping so loud.
Oh my God. Yeah, you saw grown men crying. Like, I definitely watching it, that's when I realized, like, because I had just got back into wrestling and stuff, and I was like, that's when I realized the emotional effect, because I was just like, oh my God, am I like crying right now? I was like, this is beautiful. Like, the Hardy Boys coming back got to be the top 3 ever return ever. Like, ever.
Yeah. I told y'all,
but Brian, that was the same name that Bray and Randy had that match. When they kept changing
with the maggots.
Yeah.
And
it was triggered.
Yeah, and then to cap it off, Naomi winning that night too, because that was a moment that like brought me to tears. I was like, the fact that to come back from injury, being the first black wrestler to win a championship at WrestleMania, like especially after Orlando had what they went through that summer, so that was, and she was a big part of like trying to help get that community going. So like it's nothing like those WrestleMania moments, even this year, right?
Yeah.
And it was fun to be in full kayfabe because last year I'm in full kayfabe. I'm trolling everybody. I'm walking with my ones up, and I said, okay, I'm gonna just sit back and I'm gonna go all the way against Cody, like to the point I could have really told you that I couldn't stand to do. I love Cody Rhodes, but him winning the match, it was like. I'm sitting there like, Roman, kick out, Roman. And he didn't.
And you know what's crazy? Everybody was saying the same thing. And I was literally like, the way his entrance was, the way Roman's entrance was, I'm like, y'all making it hard for me to be mad at either side. What the hell, man?
Brandy come out looking all good and everything.
Interrupting Paul Heyman, manifesting this shit, talking about someone. Who the hell told you? We've been waiting for her to have an open mic night situation. We've been waiting for the other.
No, she could stand there and look good. She could stand there and look good.
But we was not waiting on that. Snap back. The way she came back with that snapback, honey.
No, she looked so fucking good, yo.
She's like, you wanted me here? I'm here. What's up? What y'all want to talk about? And then just said, go ahead, do your thing, honey. This is your moment.
I love that though.
Me too.
I mean, it was Brian was really fighting for his life. Like when they kept playing Cody's song and he wanted to sing, and he was just like, "No, I can't do it." I said, "Brian, it's okay."
I'm telling you, from a watch party standpoint, right? I sat there and almost dropped the drink. Shout out to Lilfoot, because Lilfoot and me both literally almost dropped our fucking alcohol. And Janae was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "The Shield music just played." I said, I know Dean Ambrose ain't showing the fuck up. I know he ain't.
That would have been so fucking
Lucy,
wild.
You gonna have some explaining to do on that note. I know you ain't here. And then when I seen Roman hit Seth with chair, I said, God damn it.
That was his payback. That was his whip back.
I could have waited for that. Get back later.
Then you hear John Cena, and I'm like, I knew he was gonna show up because if Rock is here, John Cena here ain't no way. But then for the Undertaker's music to hit, if you wasn't playing the slots, you left your slot machine to watch it. If you wasn't in the kitchen cooking somebody food, you peeked out the kitchen to watch it. If you was a bartender shaking the cocktail, you did it at the same time. Everybody, pause.
When I tell you that moment, I feel like my most memorable, like, don't get me wrong, I love seeing Rock. My most memorable ones is always with the Shield. Always, and P can attest to it. Now Brian can attest to it because the Shield's music, and I think it's more synonymous because P and I were there the day Dean Ambrose's last day.
Yep.
Like his speech, him bringing out Roman, like him cursing. I'm just like, I hope this is still not on air. So it's like, okay, so we're never going to hear the music again. Like, we're never going to. And then seeing them reunite after Seth Rollins did what he did. And Barclays SummerSlam, what was that, SummerSlam 2017?
Mm-hmm.
And that Monday Night Raw, and I was pissed. I'm just like, we don't got no surprises. Last year, the Dudley Boys came out talking mad shit, as I normally do. And hearing the music. Oh, look at Serena D.
Serena, come on, mother.
Ooh, she looks good.
She looks good.
Yes, Professor Serena.
The professor.
The professor.
In that moment. So then coming to WrestleMania and having all these star-studded, like, we knew that main event was going to be big. We knew people were going to help by the end of the whole Bloodline Rules match. And then to hear the Shield music and everybody's literally looking around to see where they're coming from. And then if Dean Moxley or John Ambrose, whatever he wants to be tonight, I promise you,
Mr. Ambrose,
that would have to pick me up off the floor. Like, I was already near the floor anyway. Like, my knees was losing its feelings, and I'm just like, this is moments. But Dean Ambrose was actually in Japan sleeping after he won. He didn't know nothing about it till he woke up.
He was like, oh, something happened this weekend? Right. I didn't know.
Right. He was like, oh, I was winning championships over here.
You know, I was just being my own version of the belt collector. That's all, you know. I actually have all the belts from promotions. That's just me though.
But I love that. I love that people were able to experience those moments, because sometimes this could have been someone's first WrestleMania ever. So you come to a WrestleMania like that, you see a star-studded main event 2 nights like that. It's just like, yo, like I'm gonna come back. Like,
or even the cash in, because it's nothing like a cash in. See an EO cash in on Bianca. You know, even when
I was like, really, we doing this now? I was seated. I was
right.
Seated. I looked at me, and I looked up at her, and I did this. I was like,
kiss with a capital kiss.
Yo, they wouldn't leave this alone. I said, KRISTA ain't here, and I'm mad for KRISTA. How about that? So we both mad.
You know I sent the text, right? You know I sent the text. Like,
it was a moment, you know, even but then watching Priest this year, you know, and it's like, I'm like, wait, is this, because you couldn't hear what the back talk, you know, what was going on, but then to see
when you heard the commentary, I was like,
right,
yo,
that's
what killed me, and mind you, this is again watch party effect. We're sitting with, shout out to Wilkins, we're sitting there, and Wilkins was like, I'm like, you not there? He was like, nah, I'm going for the main event. I'm making sure everything's okay here. So when we get there, and I'm watching, he just pinned Seth, right? Literally just knocked him out with the Claymore and pinned Seth. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, homeboy won, but Punk's still sitting there. Punk is sitting there talking not a damn thing. If you watch it back, not saying a damn word.
Not at all.
He's just sitting there. He's just sitting there in his clean ass. He had a Ferragamo suit on. His clean ass Ferragamo, chilling in spring 2022, chilling
in the cold. In the cold.
Drew goes to kiss his wife. You think it's done? That man had the nerve to stand on the table, and Punk goes, "You really gonna do this now? You really gonna ruin this moment?" He was like, I've never been to a match where everybody's cheering for everybody except for the winner. Because they was cheering him, and then he does this. I said, what the fuck? The minute you saw Punk sweep his foot up, mad people was like, I told you, blah, blah, blah. Punk go get his slip back, he ain't injured, blah, blah. I said, wait a minute. I said, how you gonna mess up your good? And he took the brace off, and I was like, oh.
I called it. Definitely called it.
I owe KRISTA a drink, because she definitely said that. I definitely said he's gonna take that brace out.
That bionic arm was gonna come off. Okay.
And then you heard Priest's music, and I said, no fucking way. It started crying to the point where Miguel was looking at me. He was like, you okay? I said, I have to laugh, because how you blow this? How do you blow a Daniel Bryan?
5 minutes. 5 minutes. You could have minded your business, and now you over here going on CM Punk ruined my life bid. Stop. You ruined it.
This is great.
This is great.
It's amazing. We had this before we had Drake and Kendrick. They just literally they went from funerals to burning pictures to photos on the what. Listen,
I can't talk about Jake and Kendrick. My
I know
mental
you tired.
capacity is right here.
I know you tired. But I mean, listen. Punk said his arm is okay. Just let it happen at SummerSlam. Give me a reason to go to Ohio because ain't shit out there. But that.
Yeah.
But what about another moments that I was happy to see? I ain't get
Oh,
to be there, but what, she slapped her?
she knocked her out.
She knocked her
out.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
I didn't mean to be loud like that, but she's clean out.
I was gonna say another moment. And I saw a clip from earlier, just what's his name? Trick Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the weekend he had, you know, getting that whole crowd in Philly, and then also just see if somebody playing his song on the saxophone.
Yeah.
And how cool that was.
I love that. I love that. I love the moments where wrestlers show that they're people and that they're good fucking people and not snobby, or they're not caught at a bad time and put in a bad light. So for Trick Williams to do that, and I love that. I love that for real. I love seeing stuff like that. It's the best. It's the best feeling ever to be. It's the best time to be a wrestling fan again.
So real quick, even when I think about like what I be thinking about a lot, like people talking about like what brought you back to wrestling, because I took a long hiatus. Like after Punk left, I was like, I was very in and out. Like I really did watch that WrestleMania for Trinity to win, because I was like, I think it'd be really cool if she won the SmackDown championship. I watched for that, and then I was like, okay, the only thing holding me on was Total Bellas, because I did enjoy Total Bellas and Total Divas, even though John Cena was pissing me off at the time, but I did enjoy it, right? So then I think about like hearing about NXT and how they were going to be in New York, and they were in New York, and just thinking about that reaction, like it was not your typical WWE taped like takeover. It was electrifying. Like mind you, these people were chilling freaking Tyler Breeze, and I'm like, are we chilling for this guy? Like the people they were cheering is a whole new crowd. You knew some people, you didn't know some people, but just to be in the room to see two women last the way they lasted in that ring. We're talking about Sasha and Bailey. Like the way they lasted in that ring was just, it brought that passion back in me. I'm like, you know what? This is what I wish would have happened years ago. Like they went an hour. I come from the land of 5-minute matches. This is a treat for us. You know what I mean? So I just, that if we have to talk about audiences that sparked me to like, all right, I need to be watching more. I need to be seeing what's going on. It was that. Fast forward to me doing a whole goddamn podcast show about it. So I've been a faithful, and I've been in a room when I was there when Ricochet won, and I remember like literally just being teary-eyed because I was like, damn, they giving our people belts.
Wait,
it's not just for transitional.
When he won,
this was when he beat Adam Cole for the North American Championship.
Oh, okay.
I was there for that too. Like this is not them just this is not just them giving it us just to be transitional. They really gave him like a belt.
What was those NXT shows like? Because you don't talk about them that much, and you being the NXT expert.
I only been Stand Delivery will only be my third one. But I just remember it not being a sit down seat in the house. No one sits down, mind you. It's very different. It's like a house show, in my opinion.
Right.
So it was very like you had, even with Deadline, like it's the people, because at Breakdown going to that NXT and then go to Deadline. I remember me and Ness talk about it all the time. We were like, we hope it's the same way we see it on TV there, because it's the same routine recording in Florida that the same people go to all the time. So their reaction
you can feel it in the crowd. It's so amazing.
But then we get to Connecticut and we're watching, and everybody's just having a reaction. And I know a good wrestling show when they do the 1, 2, and then 2, and you hear
too sweet.
Yeah. And people were doing that at Deadline. So I was like, all right, we're gonna be good. But then like the 2 Deadline challenges happened. And I'm worried because I'm like, yo, if this crowd don't really pop for Trick Williams the way I hope they pop for him on TV, I'm gonna be worried about his growth. But again, Braun Breaker came out and like tore shit down. The reaction, everybody was out their chair. When Trick Williams won, people were out their chair. People were like doing it, like it was just like it felt like it literally felt like what I've seen on TV.
Let me ask you this real quick: is there a difference between the black and gold crowds versus this NXT? Because the black and gold was essentially everybody's favorite from the indies finally under the WWE umbrella. So obviously those crowds come, but now with the
go
ahead.
your question.
No, because you pretty much understand where I'm going with it.
Yeah,
The black and gold versus the color crowds.
I feel like the black and gold was specifically just that. It was
that sounded so racist.
She know what I meant by the belts.
Black and gold versus the color crowds. Okay.
So that era versus this era.
Yeah.
So it wasn't what I feel like people are starting to grow with this NXT. When NXT had rolled out 2.0, you got a mixture of them trying to keep black and gold versus putting old school Vince McMahon spin on it. Everybody had to have a gimmick. Everybody had to have a promo. Everybody had to be good on the mic. Everybody had to have something, to the point where people were not being themselves. We watched the Roman documentary, right? Roman went into this first run as main event Roman not being himself, meaning he did something that they gave him the formula and said, this is what people are going to make them like you. And this is what people are going to cheer for when you do it. And that's what I got a lot of 2.0. And that's when I felt like things started to die. Because also you're also coming off a pandemic. So people weren't going to they're never going to get another Johnny Gargano. They're never going to get another Ciampa. They're never going to get another, Cole. They're never going to get another Bayley or Sasha, or they're gone. They're gone. They're somewhere else. They're doing their thing on the main roster. You have them on the main roster, so you don't have to worry about that much. But when it comes to this group of young individuals, it's growth from the beginning. You said it yourself. 2.0 was literally a bunch of indie kids coming to be in WWE's formula. But now you're getting a new crop of young people being in WWE's formula. You have NIL. You have some people that still in the indies. They haven't shied away from that formula. Then you have people that they've literally taught generational talent how to wrestle from scratch. Yeah. That's authentic. That's different. And so you already have a bunch of people that have been following them from 2.0. Now, finally getting to see them live. We have not had a stand. We didn't have a NXT show since the last Philadelphia takeover. That was, I want to say, 6 years apart. Because between that was the pandemic. Oh, wow. They did everything in-house in Florida, and then you had stand deliver. They didn't start going on the road till last year. So this crowd that's been watching these kids since pandemic days, when there was nothing else to watch on TV, and you were still trying to watch NXT, but then you got 2.0, and then you got to grow everybody, the Carmelo Hayes, the Roxanne Perez, the Ilya Dragunov from UK. You got to grow with this talent that was literally, some of them know nothing. Like, Braun Breaker is just off his daddy's genes. Roxanne is the indie darling, but people still love her. Then you got people like Kalani Jordan. Then you got people like Ilya, Ilya wasn't really indie. Ilya was more like UK NXT. So
that's what I miss, those UK crowds. Like, we saw France, but like UK, every time there was an NXT UK PLE pay-per-view, those crowds would be crazy. Y'all think the US will get cocky enough to say we gotta outdo that? At least at the PLEs?
No. We have no type of coof about us. Like, we gonna like who we like. Right. We're gonna boo who we boo. We're gonna cheer for who we cheer for. But we really don't have any type of coof or decorum about us when it comes down to these events. We're gonna do and say whatever we want. The France crowd is either cheering you together or booing you together. It was no in between with them.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's crazy. So I think that people that don't, like, for example, people harped on Philly because we weren't cheering. Motherfucker, it's cold. Okay? But at the same time, we excited. We appreciate all this shit. Don't get it twisted. Just because you don't see us losing our shit and singing, "Oh, Bailey, will you be my girl?" Like, we don't, because we're not singing that. Don't mean we don't appreciate people. Let's not get it fucked up. Because, like, in all honesty, They done had a full try on Africa. I'm still waiting for them to go to South Africa, but you don't hear me harping on about it. We still appreciate everything. It's just that we also understand, like, France not having a lot, only getting house shows until now is a plus. Puerto Rico not getting a pay-per-view since SummerSlam of 2000 and something, they deserve that. You know, finally going to a pay-per-view event made in Berlin, going to places like Riyadh and going to different countries, like they deserve that. We don't put the world in WWE just for show.
Right,
You can't just have everything in the US. So I like the strategy. If the big five is gonna be now the big five, because you know Money in Bank gonna be in the US territories, hell, I rock with it. Like,
yeah, I love it.
Find a safe place in Mexico and give them one, because hell, they deserve it too.
Not find a safe place. I think they probably have every fucking city on mapped out that they are about to go to. But what I like about live shows too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Poor
These ladies are killing this match.
They really are.
Yeah. Who are they? Because I'm confused. I haven't watched AEW.
Mariah May
and Harley. I forgot her name. Harley something. She's with the Outcast now. She took Ruby Soho's spot.
So is Saraya not wrestling no more?
No, not really. I think because of this, not a lot.
Oh, because of her neck? Got it.
Yeah. But she's taking this. Mariah May killing it, though.
Yeah, she is. I really like what she's doing.
Mariah May is the one who's smacking her. Which one? The one in black and white?
Yeah, it's the one dressed like Toni Storm, old school.
Okay.
Oh, okay. She just clocked the shit out of Saraya. All right now.
Somebody needs to.
Wow.
Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, Mariah May been the truth.
Yeah, she made an impact as soon as she came through.
Yeah.
When she came out at Ring of Honor, the whole place. That's the thing about pop. The whole place popped her because she was with the Joshi girls. Like Nina just signed, and all them. This was their first. Because Stardom is now doing Ring of Honor shows, and when I saw her and she had the bottle of champagne and she started speaking Japanese, I said, "This is happy. She happy. Her people's here now. She is so happy. I said, happy because she's doing a great job in Stardom."
And wasn't she in TNA for a bit?
For a little bit, yeah.
That's another thing. Us going to our first live TNA show.
How was
that? That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And it was a 1000 show. So it was like their legacy show. So you was like surrounded by TNA Impact super fans. And all these people started coming out, and I could tell for them like it was like such a big deal. And it's like, oh, I'm like that was the cool part, like seeing people that haven't come out in so long. Tasha Stills came out and came back, and she had a huge pop, which was really, really cool to see. Just because you know she's a friend and she's really cool and a really good performer. Kiss, 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 kiss.
Nah, that's dope. I got my first time seeing TNA was actually at a baseball stadium, and the baseball shows were really cool because who expects to go to a baseball stadium to watch a wrestling show? And you know they out there and they put the ring at home plate, and then pretty much work around there, and then you know they will come out from different sides, like, you know, kind of old school. So obviously the crowds isn't big because it's not like it's a Camden Yards. It's like one of the it was actually Cal Ripken Stadium which is for the minor leagues. So you can imagine it's a small stadium, probably like 300 people there. But then they had like this thing where you could meet the wrestlers, and that was when I first got a chance to meet like RVD and Sting and Jeff Hardy. Yeah, and like Jeff Hardy is like the nicest person. And you think like this dude is like at one point, you know, like Kaz said the other day, Jeff Hardy is like Jey Uso. When we see Jey Uso is 2008 Jeff Hardy. And I was like, wow, like at that point, you know, that's when Jeff Hardy was like the most popular wrestler, like, you know, and you know, and even then, like after now, this is later than that, but he's still like super humble. Him and Matt, you know, getting a chance to meet both of them, you know. But it was always fun to seeing former WWE seeing WWE legends or recent stars who were upper mid card or even main eventers go to an indie show and see
that is so cool.
Yeah, the pops that they get, the way people react to them, because it's like you never think you would see them, and there's no disrespect to people like the Maximum Male models, because it's obviously a place for them too, but when you see like those people who are household names and they add a Jobber Slam or a Battle Club Pro or MCW, it's very cool to see how those reactions are.
It really is. And then to like remind, it also shows them like what it's all about, just like we talked about earlier. What make live shows so cool is like they get to kind of come back to the start of it all. Like I think about Jay Bougie, like after he makes it and he's gonna go back to some of these places because that's just who he is, and really be like, yo, this is where I got my start. Like this is where I got to really truly start connecting with my fans. Like when I seen people wearing Jay Bougie shirts, like old Jay Bougie shirts at shows, like that's fandom. That's like, oh, I have a Jay Bougie shirt. I'm gonna go see my guy, and I'm gonna wear my shirt, and it's just like, wow, like to have that kind of connection. And I love to see the stars come back. Like Gail Kim was at the For the Culture show in Philly, and I did a double take. Like, also she's beautiful in person.
Ricky Stark sitting in the corner chilling. I was like, oh, he was happy to be back.
He was actually nice to me this time, you guys.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Update. He didn't tell us that part.
I thought I did. Yeah, he was nice. He was like, oh, hey. I was like, all right. Kept it real cute because I was tired.
I met him.
Kept it real cute because I was tired.
That was a really
Another
good
thing
show.
about those indie shows too, it was good not to see a lot of people bother them, knowing that they've been on TV. Like Javon Evans literally just debuted and was just like literally did not know he was gonna get his own like promo package. But the night before he was chilling with his friends. Like he was chilling with the people he used to wrestle at those shows. He's just chilling. Yeah, I like that for them.
I really love that too. It's not about Black wrestling shows. I'm sorry, because my first indie show, like I had seen John wrestle like the school shows every now and again, but going to Jobber Slam 3, I believe it was my first like true Black indie wrestling show, and the hype was real. It was like we were still in the pandemic, but it was like that first one right in it that they could possibly do, and even that was kind of like, are they gonna let us do it? And just the love in the building, like that was a magical show, like that first Jobber Slam, and getting to see people that I haven't seen since I don't even know when, and your friends in the ring and stuff like that, like that's
that part. It's that part, like seeing your friends in the ring and doing what they love to do.
Yes, and really work hard at it. Like shout out to Mr. Black, because I'm talking about Jobber Slam 3. He was just the hype, ball sweating to get in the crowd, get everybody hype. And now you go to a show and he's a referee and storylines and
involved
like
with Jobber South.
It's really cool to see, like you said, seeing people do it they love and have always wanted to do. Like Wilkins was like, anytime he wrestles at Battle Club Pro, he's like, I just want to do what I always wanted to do as a wrestler as a kid. Like, what did I always want to experience? And he's had the opportunity to experience those things. But I want to also shout out Black Girl Magic, because I went to that show in 2022, and it was right after Dallas, and it had that same feel. Like, I can't even describe how it felt. Like, you really had to be there, because it was really one of those shows where you just knew you were at something like really, really, really special. Shout out to Karen Bam Bam, because she's been doing it, and Willow, because I've seen her wrestle so many times at indie shows, and every time I see her on TV, I'm still just like, oh my god, I'm so happy and proud of her.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree.
I love looking back on, all of these moments. And this is, we could talk about live show moments we've had forever. And I do want to, acknowledge the fact that we are very fortunate and very blessed to have even been to live shows. We talked about how a lot of cities don't get wrestling the way that we do and haven't had the chance to go to a show. So we hope we put those vibes out there, that every wrestling fan that wants to attend a show can attend a show, even if it's an indie show, because it all has the same underlying factors of why we love wrestling as a whole. And, you know, go with a friend. That's the other part. Like being able to, you know, look back on those photos and be like, oh my God, remember when such and such, you know? So
it's so crazy because I'm like, yo, fast forward, I was like, yo, I always like, you manifest that shit. I'm like, I just want to do this with people that I actually care about and stop being such a secret fan. And then like fast forward, I'm literally spending a whole weekend with somebody that I met a mutual online. Me and Pablo literally like clicked the entire weekend. We were all at For the Culture. Like I was like, yo, I want to go to Ring of Honor. I want to do all these things. And I've been dying in my head. I'm like, I wish I just had, I know I have the friends. So I'm like, that's going to happen to me one day. I get such like 1 year FOMO of you guys in LA having the best time. And I'm like, I'm going to do that with them one day. I don't care what it takes. And I was talking about it's in Philly. I got to make it happen. And then it never was a dull moment. Like the fact that we were all at the table at night one fucking tired because we were at freaking, we woke up that early to go to freaking stand in the living room. I was like, yo, I'm drained. My skin is yelling at me. My feet are yelling at me. But then I'm like, I wouldn't meet this any other way. To the connections that were made, going to that brunch, gotten to meet getting advice from like Big Spo and getting to talk to like people that we knew in the community, meeting people. You know, shout out to Wrestle Bars, been connecting with them, with Def Jam.
Nice.
Like making connections and seeing my friend over here work at WWE World, interviewing people, doing his thing, seeing you guys and doing y'all thing, and then just being in the crowd and being like, yo, I went from being a secret fan to really doing this with like my family. So it just hit different. And that's why think of the people in France, when you look at their reaction, they hear about an appearance, and mind you, it's not like it's next to Paris. They were literally next to the Swiss Alps, Vienna, Italy, and France. So you had 5 different forms of transportation getting to that one city to be there. Like literally. Oh, I'm gonna finish my point. I'm gonna let y'all take care of that. But anyway, they get to experience.
Wow. Well then,
that took a turn.
Oh my God, yo! I love how we all like slowly noticed the comment.
Like, swerve.
That took a. And he ain't got no Prince now, so fuck all that. Anyway,
what happened? Where he at?
I don't know. He ain't there.
I was that's true. Where is he? That's the homie.
He can't. Swerve can't be a heel because Chris Cage gonna bring up his daddy in like 2 seconds. So and no, B. What the fuck?
But do we know who this is? Like, do we know
who this is? Brian,
I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Brian, you don't know who this is?
No.
Oh, so is it no?
Is it a no?
Because you haven't said.
You didn't say yes.
No.
Hold on. Okay. Yo, don't make me take the Amtrak, damn it.
There you go.
This is why I love fan club, because it really is never a dull moment. That's why I'm so glad you was able to get on, Krista, because this was like I couldn't talk about a lot of these moments without you. Like us celebrating with the New Day in Brooklyn.
Yep.
That was fucking wild.
P almost dropped her.
I was like, I could not believe it.
I don't know if she almost dropped her phone first or herself, because everything was happening so fast at the same time.
It really was. Like, we were in Brooklyn. We were like damn near front row.
Thanks to
like
him,
yeah. And the New Day won the championships, and they go around the ring. They're celebrating. They're talking to the crowd, giving 5s out, hugs out, and they come towards the barricade. And I have my phone. I'm like, oh my god! But then they like keep coming, and like they climb over the barricade. I was like, wait, whoa. And then they're literally celebrating with us in the crowd, and we're like, like you can see KRISTA on TV.
Period. Sure can.
You can see KRISTA on TV, and that was a wild moment, because it's just like we started out in the fucking
seat fillers.
What's those called? Seat fillers. And then we kept moving down gradually, and then towards the main event, we happen to be in the front row, and that's what happens. Wild.
That's lit.
Also, what other moment I think about, P, when we were I think we was at Madison Square Garden again. And that little boy who got so hyped when Jeff Hardy's music hit. And he had to be no more than 7 years old.
That's gonna make me cry because he was like,
like coming down his face. He was with his mom. His mom was recording him. Brian's future husband. Oh,
this is hilarious. Development.
Yeah, whatever. This is wow.
If this was alcohol, I would definitely been drinking it for you right now.
We would have been fucking toasting to this shit.
We'll be saving that for tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thursday, Thursday.
Yes, Thursdays is back tomorrow. Very exciting. Very exciting.
As you can see, Brian is enthusiastic as hell.
I never see Brian not smiling, so that is very telling.
I feel the heel in me want to regurgitate some things, and I'm trying because it's not my show. But Brian is like,
what's the word? No sell it.
No sell. Tomorrow, Thirsty Thursday is back. So you get to drink with us, kiki with us, talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. And we also celebrate. We celebrate wins. We celebrate the little wins in life. We celebrate being together, especially coming off this show, being able to relive these moments was like, it felt really, really good. It was very like heartwarming. So thank you, Krista B, for joining us. Thank you for everyone that came through to the fan club. Every week it is always a good time, especially our VIP. Shout out to Rakarsha, Dylan, Keith came through, Dylan came through, and I enjoy watching AEW as a family. And it was nice to be back for this fun episode.
I had fun. Thank you for having me. I love you all. I miss you all. We definitely
love you. Yes, we gotta link up.
We definitely have to take
a great first topic.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and it makes me want to go to more shows.
No word. Like, when's the next one besides Jobber Slam? Make sure I get your tickets.
Well, remember we got AEW, and if you're in that, AEW is not till June, but
okay, Jersey, Long Island, Queens.
I think that's the only thing. Then Queens.
Oh, Queens. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Is Mercedes is wrestling? That is going to be the biggest factor for me. If
wait, who is that? Wait, who is that in the ring?
Who's this?
Wait a minute.
That's
Lil Uso?
No, that's
no.
I forgot your name.
I forgot your name.
He been there. He ain't wanna.
Okay.
Nah, they going to the real money. All them Usos.
Oh, that's how I'm like, is that another Uso? Because he needs to make his way to WWE.
I'm like, it's just so many of them. You can't keep up.
Before we close out, hold on. Mr. Brian H. Hollywood Waters, what was your reaction to seeing Loa come out in front?
Find out tonight at 10:30 on the Wrestling Now podcast.
I'm looking for you to say that. Lucky for that. I was like, I can't get on Wrestling Realm and they don't talk about it. I'm taking the Amtrak and I'm like, P, tell me he's outside. Because y'all better react to it. Because when I tell you I was sitting up there in the middle of the afternoon in Pennsylvania somewhere holding my brand new godson. Shout out to Levi. I love you so much.
So cute.
And I'm sitting there with the baby in my hand and I'm like, that is not Tungaloa. I said, oh my God. I said, wait a minute. I said, you lucky you sleeping, because I was ready to flip out. Like,
it's so many of them. It's just like, who's next?
So many.
I was
I cannot keep up.
I was like, the other brother. What was it? Everybody was waiting on the other 5 too, but that greatness takes time.
Brian, where your boy at? I'm confused.
I'm not rushing.
Greatness takes time.
You know, okay. Good answer.
I'm enjoying this story. I told y'all the bloodline ain't dead. But speaking of bloodline, storyline tees, you can get the shirt. Shout out to the homie.
Mine's in the clean clothes right over there.
Did they just turn on him? I'm so confused.
They sure
Anyway.
did. Damn.
Anyway.
And since we shouting out Black-owned businesses real quick, I got to shout out my friend Corey, Heart of a Lion.
Hey.
I have the leggings on, and I have the sports bra on right now. So it's Heart of a Lion. Make sure you check it out. It's real cute. It's comfortable. It's soft. It's amazing.
That's what I like to hear about a bra. Comfort. Soft.
Comfort. But why they turning on Swerve? And where's Prince Nana? I'm so confused.
Because Christian will always
has money.
Have your own people. Yup.
This is why I watch.
Is that Khan? Khan going against them too?
Like,
Khan,
Daddy, can I have some money? Beat up the champion.
I actually met him. Yo, he's really nice in person. You met him at Wally Mania, right? Khan?
Yeah. I think so. He's nice.
He's nice and he's handsome. Child.
It's a nice combination. But I don't know what we are going to talk about next week, but we hope that everyone can join us for our weekly wrestling fan club. It is all about loving wrestling and just talking about shit that we love. So thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thank you for my crew. Thank you, Krista V, for tuning in tonight. Where can everybody find you guys? Krista, you could start.
Yes. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is ms_KRISTAB_. Twitter is ms_KRISTAB. Follow me on TikTok. Apparently, my last TikTok video is doing numbers. I don't know why, but I appreciate it. Please continue to follow me on TikTok. I'll probably do more of those. Please make sure you subscribe to Unapologetically Eclectic. It's getting revamped right now. So that's why you guys have not been receiving your daily affirmations. It's under revamp mode. But once it's back up and running, please make sure you subscribe. And I also may have something in the works. So you have to stay tuned to Unapologetically Eclectic. Please also follow that on all social media platforms. I will be back here tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. And then on Friday, me and the gang are back with another schooling sessions with Pablo, myself, and Christina.
Yeah. Brian?
All right, you can follow me at Brian H. Waters, Wrestling Realm now tonight. As I get back in the swing of things, it's great to be back here at the fan club. Great for the business, great for the discussion, and just loving it. So tonight, Wrestling Realm Now podcast, we talking the bloodline and who's coming next. Tune in and find out.
Per usual, it's your honorary wrestling girl, Seindole B. You can catch me on all my platforms, reload via film on X. You can also catch me every Tuesday at 6 o'clock on the dot, like a drop top, for Watch What Happens NXT. This week, I gave y'all a little break because we still recovering the fallout from one of the best spring break-ins to ever happen on the NXT brand. But I'm back next week to give y'all how I feel about everything from this amazing combine to the 12 women that were finally selected for the new inaugural Women's North American Championship. We also want to talk about what's really going on with Trick Willy Wonka and Miss Lash Legend. And it's so much more. It's the only pre-show you'll ever have to watch before NXT airs on Tuesday. And I can't wait for you to see who I have on next week. So see y'all at 6. Shout out to Jabba San for watching it with me. And also shout out anybody else who's watching it with me in my bikini. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, wow. I missed
And thank y'all for the birthday wishes too.
Oh, yes. You know where to find me, Queen P.R. everywhere at Queen3_PR. And we will see you tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday and next week for TWG Fan Club and everything else that we're doing. We love you all, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.